Welcome back to Friday Philosophy. Wait, welcome back? Welcome back, I think. Are we ready to go? Yeah, it's Friday Philosophy. Let's rock and roll. Probably. Do I seem a bit indecisive? Yeah, maybe. And there's a reason for that. Did you ever stop and think about how much time during the day we waste making decisions? I mean, like, not workplace decisions where you know the rules and expectations, and yes, you go there. Yes, you do this. Yes, I do this. Those are the simple ones, right? The hard ones are going into the doggone quick shop and trying to figure out which energy drink and what flavor you're going to pick. And I know that sounds really silly at this point, but hear me out. Let me gather up Sherman and Peabody, and we're going to get in the Wayback Machine and go back to the early 1980s. Most of you that are watching this remember that. Some of you don't, but I think you'll still appreciate where I'm going with this. I grew up in the early 80s in a world with 3 television channels. That's right, 3. We had a color TV to serve the entire household, which was me, my mother, father, and depending on the year, 2 brothers. My sister was out of the house by the time I'm old enough to remember television. But we had 3 channels and a rotary dial antenna. We're rural people. Rural folk, I should say. So, depending on the weather, we could get 2 of those 3 channels. And then came Fox Television. So we had our choice of 4, but still, depending on the weather, only had a pick of 2, maybe 3 on a really quiet, calm day. And decisions at that point were pretty easy. Do you want to watch Donahue? Do you want to watch afternoon cartoons, or do you want to watch another fuzzy channel that had something or other on? That's kind of how it broke down. So you had A, B, or kind of C. That's how life rolled in the early 80s. Same thing when you went to pick your cola or your pop of choice. You had Coke, you had Pepsi, and you had 7-Up. This is pretty much pre-Sprite era, as weird as that is. I remember when diet soda broke. And all of a sudden, it doubled your choices, except it tasted like crap, because NutraSweet, yummy. Especially when you're a kid who, you've been raised on fake sugar, and now they're giving you fake sugar. No. We're having none of that fake stuff. Just the fake sugar that came in Coke and Pepsi. And then came New Coke. The only time in my life I drank Pepsi was when New Coke came out, because it was that bad. Nevertheless, then came Classic Coke, which was original Coke without the Coke. If you can figure that mess out, God bless you. But choices were pretty black and white. The differences were pretty simple because the choices were that narrow. Fast forward to, say, the mid-90s, and along come, Sprite was a product of the 80s, but you've got 7-Up, Sprite, Coke, Pepsi. Then we throw in Surge, lest we forget the clear Pepsi days, of the mid-80s and what mess that was. But we've got more choices. Oh, here comes Sierra Mist. Oh, Shasta Cola. Well, that's the generic knockoff of all of these other sodas. And now we've got choices. And breakfast cereals, that was maybe the first onslaught of choice overload. for a young kid of the 70s/80s. Rice Krispies, Captain Crunch, Alphabets, Cocoa Puffs, Count Chocula. You know, the list goes on, and each of them had a prize. So you had to pick the right cereal to get the prize or the toy or rub-on fake tattoo or whatever that crap was. But the 80s, thanks to free market capitalism, of which I am a huge proponent, don't misunderstand me, but we began to be inundated with choices. Fast forward to the 90s, which I've already done once, but we're going to do it again. Personal computers. Gateway, Dell, HP, IBM. Oh, no, I'm a Mac guy. No. 100 different kinds of personal computers that you could purchase. All of them the same, but all of them different. Which commercial do you like best? Because that's what you're going to buy. My first home computer was a Dell. And here's the best part of this, is that I was techie enough to figure out that if I got into the motherboard and moved one little piece of plastic about half a centimeter wide onto a different set of posts, I could double my processor speed. Now, if I were to have purchased that computer with the doubled processor speed, it would have cost me another $300. Fact is, same machine, they just put the plastic plug in a different place. Would have cost me $300 more if I was not smart enough to figure out what that little plastic piece did, that bridge, we'll call it. Nevertheless, here we are in the mid-90s, inundated with choices. And now here we are in the second decade of the 21st century. And choices, man, you can't walk out of your house without making a choice about how you want to walk out of your house. And I don't mean to belabor the point, but I kind of do, because you've made a choice to watch it this far, right? And you could make a choice to shut her down, and I don't want you to. I think there's some interesting things to be thought about here. In part because, here this last week, I have, over the past 2 months, decided that I want to lose some weight. And I'm going to do that by a little bit of walking, a little bit of jogging. Well, thus far I've been walking/jogging, as far as that goes, in my Walmart mowing shoes. Yes, I went to Walmart. I dropped $15 on a pair of shoes that are super comfy, by the way. Super comfy. To mow the lawn. Well, now I want to walk and jog. Turns out over the long haul, not that good for your feet. So I threw out a post on Facebook and said, because you know everybody now is an expert runner, threw out a Facebook post, hey, what running shoe would you guys suggest? 41 responses I received. 41 responses on running shoes. Everything from run what feels good, to go to an expert, have your foot fitted, to you can purchase the new shoe for $250, or you can buy the old shoe on Amazon for $100. Like, this is so not what I expected. So not. 41 responses. Where do you even start with that? There was kind of a consensus in terms of brands, in terms of fit, in terms of places to shop. But nevertheless, 41 responses is such a silly question. But it helps lend itself to my point, which is the environment we are in, which is an infinite number of choices to any question asked. And it started to make my head spin. But I followed one of the popular choices and took a 30-minute drive. Tried on 6 pairs of shoes, none of which fit well. And in fairness, I trashed my Achilles heel and my right foot about 6 years ago, so I don't fit shoes like normal people fit shoes. Nevertheless, even the gal at the store says, well, you know, you're in a popular size, so we don't have a lot of shoes. Like, if I'm in a popular size, why don't you have more shoes in my size? But I digress. So an hour and a half later, I'm driving 30 minutes back to my hometown saying, how am I going to fix this? I stop at a store, found a pair of shoes on clearance that just happened to fit me just right. That one decision cost me about 2.5 hours. Moral of the story is not simply shop locally. That happened to be my solution. But how silly is that I was presented with 100 options on 41 responses through Facebook, end up buying a pair of shoes 2 miles from my own house after driving 30 miles each direction and spending an hour looking at shoes. I mean, we're into the boundaries of pure ass silliness. And I've done it before. I love shopping local. I absolutely do. I love shopping hometown. I love knowing who the people I'm buying stuff from. But these are running shoes. I mean, this is what's good for my feet, right? But I'm also not going to spend $150 because I'm not running a damn marathon. So the pair of shoes I find cost me $65, 2 miles from my house after driving 30 minutes each way, spending an hour shopping, because I'm in a choices and I'm looking for the best. Not the most expensive, but the best fit for me. And each of us do that every day, right? You know, we look at things and we examine things to an nth degree that is unrequired for the level of decision or the level of responsibility that decision requires. Again, I go back to the days when our choices were Coke, Pepsi, or 7-Up. And yes, RC Cola or Tab or whatever. Throw those in. Fine. The choices were simple. Not just because we were kids or youths or even adults, theoretically, but because the choices were limited. It was simple to decide. And again, fast forward to today. You don't want pop, you want an energy drink or a healthy water or whatever you want to call it. Okay, well, do I want the vitamin water or do I want the vitamin plus water or do I just want Gatorade? Okay, I'm going to go with the vitamin water. Okay, good. Well, what flavor? Do you want banana berry? Do you want berry? Do you want dingleberry? Do you want fruit dingleberry? Do you want dingleberry? I just wanted a vitamin water thing. And you stand there looking in this cooler full of infinite choices, not only amongst brands, but amongst flavors amongst brands. It's like, oh, well, I like kiwi strawberry and this brand. Do they have kiwi strawberry? No. We only have kiwi dingleberry. Oh. Not sure I want kiwi dingleberry. That doesn't sound so appetizing. So now do I want this kiwi strawberry in a different brand? Not quite as healthy. Doesn't have the same electrolytes and protein and bullshit. No, I'm going to go with the dingleberry flavor because that's the brand that I want right now. how we have complicated life. And not just we. I mean, this is a marketing strategy to the nth degree. I'm a graphic artist. I'm a marketer. I get it. I so totally get it. But this is so ridiculous that we, as consumers, spend time making decisions over things that are a sliver apart from one another. And those slivers all add up. And if you've had a sliver in your foot or in your finger, you know how painful that can be, right? So do I. It's ugly. It's messy. It's painful. Well, think about each of those little miniature decisions that we make and how they add up and suck the ever-living life out of us. This is the most abstract rant I've ever done on a Friday Philosophy, and I apologize, but I hope you're sticking with me, because think about the silliness that we place into mundane, stupid decisions. Does berry taste any different than dingleberry? Yes, it does. Will you drink both up if you want a vitamin water? And what the hell? Vitamin water? Seriously? Seriously, vitamin water. We can get vitamins and minerals and whatever from our fruits, right? We can get water from our water. But no, we're going to pay double to triple the cost of all that so we can get vitamin water. But not just vitamin water with electrolytes. But not just vitamin water with electrolytes in the flavor of our choice. And you have a dozen flippin' choices, and each of us will stand in front of that cooler for 30 seconds to a minute trying to figure out which brand of electrolyte frickin' dingleberry frickin' water with electrolytes that we want. And yes, do we get what we want? Yes, we do. But at the end of the day, does dingleberry water taste any different than fruitberry water? Yeah, there's a difference, but you'll swallow them both down. But we get sucked up into these choices. But not just choices, choices amongst choices. And choices amongst choices, because Gatorade, God bless them, has Gatorade 2 and 3. So are you pre-workout, post-workout, or mid-workout? What the what? What? Welcome to the modern world. And God bless each and every one of us for putting up with it. And not only putting up with it, but to fall into it and cater to it. And you know what? I love the fact we have choices in our marketplace. What I hate is the fact that we agonize over those choices, even in a small way. Open the cooler door, grab the drink, walk away. Or better yet, figure out that there's a better, cheaper way to do it, which is what I'm trying to do. Haven't solved it in every circumstance. I am certainly not perfect. But the only thing I would say to each and every one of you is, don't compromise on toilet paper. Just don't do it. Don't agonize over the cheapest, best deal on toilet paper. Buy quality. Buy quantity, but buy quality. If you learned nothing else from this rabid, random rant, buy good toilet paper. Pulling off twice the amount off the roll just so you are soft enough to do what you need to do, don't do it. Don't do it. Just buy quality, even if you use a little more, even if it costs a little more. I don't care if that means you have to stop smoking your pipe. Some things are worth it. So, welcome back have a good evening. This is the most randomness of random rants that I've ever done, and I'm not even drunk. Okay, maybe I'm close, but I'm not. Choices. We all have choices. Don't spend time on the stupid ones. Spend time on the ones that are important, which is, do I have more time to spend with my wife or my husband or my kids? Do I need to save more money for the next vacation? Let's not waste our time trying to figure out which flavor of energy soft drink or replenishment drink or mineral water or protein shake or whatever the BS. I don't know how we got here, but we're here. And me, Sherman, and Peabody are going to call it a night. I did reference the Wayback Machine. I am also smoking the Moonshine Pipe Company pipe given to me from Drew of the Shed with a little Boswell Select, which is, I dare I say it, awful doggone good. So thank you, Drew of the Shed. It's just windy and cool enough here in the middle of the Nebraskas that I don't have to worry about the decision of whether I'm going to sit outside or go inside, because it is magnificent. No matter who you are or where you are, I hope you're having a great evening and a great weekend to come. This is Friday Philosophy. We'll talk to you again soon.